What's up, guys? Cool little Craigslist score the other day. For you guys looking for stuff too, in a big city, you have an opportunity to search Craigslist, and you never know, search as many tags as you can, because you may be able to find something really cool like I did. Now, I live in a small town, but I work in Boston, so I have a bigger city, and I have a great opportunity to access more people. A city with more people means chances are there's more, musicians, more gear, more stuff laying around. But I just searched vintage Fender in Boston Craigslist, and I found this 1953-54 Fender Champ lap steel. Essentially the same components as a Blackguard Telecaster here, meant to just place on your lap with a slide, and you just use it as a lap steel. Electronics, you got your pots here, and you have this special pickup in here is something I want to talk about. Blackguard Telecasters were around when this was around, but this, in the beginning stages, is almost morphing itself into a Blackguard Tele, a Blackguard Esquire, basically, with a single pickup and these two pots. This is exactly all of the electronics you would essentially have for a flat pole pickup. The Champ pickup is a little different. I'll show you how. But there are guys that have converted these into Telecaster pickups. Basically, you just add the Telecaster bottom plate. And it intrigued me so much because I have my 57 Esquire. Now, early 55 White Guard Telecaster still had a flat pole. But as you got mid 55 area, they would change to a raised pole piece. But I always wondered about the flat pole sound versus the raised pole piece sound. So it gave me a little project. This lap steel was quite affordable for what the guy was asking. And, I feel as though there are people out there, there are collectors out there that really enjoy these lap steels, and I could still probably get my money back for the lap steel, but I would keep the pickup and the pots, you know what I mean? So kind of scavenge it in a way, but this is still a value because the bridge here where the strings go through, you have your serial number notating the year. It's in great condition. Your Fender logo is up at the headstock, we would call it. And look at those tuners. They're just, the tuning keys are still holding on. They still work, and they're just diminished and rotted. But it's a really, really cool piece. And these things have been known to have some great haunting sounds. Now, like I said, if you look at the Fender Esquire that I have, it has a raised pole piece pickup. And this is all original electronics. You know what I mean? But I just always wondered what the flat pole would do in these guitars. And there are many people that have done it. Keith Richards has converted his lap steel pickup in his Macabre Telecaster. G.E. Smith, his signature model, has a flat pole piece style. But I just wanted to have some fun with it, and it gave me a project to do down the road to keep myself busy. But I'll give you a look inside these right now and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so looking at the lap steel, you have your 4-digit serial number there. Puts it at about a 53, 54. You can see your dome knurled knobs, much like you would find on a Blackguard Tele that was around at that time. Now, string action off of this board is insanely high, as you can tell. I mean, it is a lap steel, so we're not fretting any notes. But if you take a peek at the components here, essentially, these are your pots. These are your components that would have been in a Blackguard Telecaster. So this is something really cool. You can see the route there. Very crude, very 50s Fender. And here's the coveted flat pole pickup. It looks crusty. It is original. It is old. You can see the pickup is wrapped in its rope. It is a little microphonic. It has some pretty cool, eerie sounds. And I just always wondered what these would sound like in my Telecaster. Now later on, you would get what they called the raised pole piece pickup in this 57 Esquire. And I know some of you guys are going to freak and say, oh, why would you do that? But this is my guitar. I'm keeping it. I love this guitar. And it's literally unsoldering 2 pickup wires and resoldering them once I build the mechanism to support this pickup in that guitar. The shape of the Champ pickup is much different than an actual Telecaster pickup. It almost takes on a Strat shape where it's just, you know, you have almost like a rectangular shape, where the other one, if you look at an exploded view of a Telecaster, it's almost like triangular in a way. So we have to, like I said, adhere a plate that will mate the Telecaster base plate to this pickup. We're going to do that in the future. But yeah, I mean, there's a cool, you know, some Blackguard tone. It's going to eventually sit in there just to see what it sounds like, you know. I'll also give you a measurement on these pickups as well. This is not the proper, dead-on, accurate way to get a reading, but just for a reference here, pull your volumes up. Just taking a look at the Champ pickup, we get 6.15K. Really, really cool. In the bridge position, you would call it, this is wired directly to the output jack or the input jack, however you want to think about it. It does not pass through the tone control here. Again, make sure you have all your volumes up, and we'll get a reading on this one now. 557. So we got, you know, 615K compared to, you know, 56K, we'll call it. Now, I've stressed the fact that K doesn't mean anything in translation to magnets, winding, inductance, capacitance of the pickup. This has all been noted before. But the major difference being the pole pieces being flat. We have a little higher output on here. And we may try using a steel base plate instead of a copper-coated base plate. We'll see if that gives us some different sounds. So yeah, there's a really cool, you know, Blackguard content project coming up. Doing a little flat pole pickup swap on a 57 Esquire in the near future. So stay tuned if you're into tellies, you're into old Esquires, and you want to see what it sounds like. Peace.